Alright children, welcome back to AP Macroeconomics with your favorite teacher, me, Mr. Fritz. Today we're going to talk about an appreciation or depreciation of a country's currency and how that will affect net exports and aggregate demand. I'm going to show you two separate examples here for how this will work. We're going to be comparing the US dollar to the Japanese yen. First, let's pretend that there's a higher real interest rate in the United States right now than there is in Japan. That would cause financial capital to flow into the United States, and when Japanese yen holders are bringing their money into the United States to put in our financial assets like bonds or savings accounts or something, they're first going to have to buy US dollars. That would cause the demand for the US dollars to increase and shift to the right. And now there'd be a higher exchange rate for the US dollar, and the US dollar would be appreciating in the foreign exchange market. Now that it costs Japanese yen holders more yen to purchase $1, they're going to buy fewer of our exports. Now that our dollar is more valuable and it takes fewer dollars to buy a yen, we'll be buying more Japanese imports because they're going to feel cheaper to us. So it's a great time to buy, I don't know, a Nintendo or a Honda Civic. As that happens, as our exports fall and our imports increase, net exports are going to decrease, and because aggregate demand is made up of net exports, aggregate demand is going to decrease and shift to the left. We'll have a lower price level, a decreasing real GDP, and that will mean that our unemployment rate is going up. Next, we'll look at the exact opposite situation. If now, instead, the real interest rate is higher in Japan than it is in the United States, we'd expect capital to flow to Japan from the United States. So you can show this a couple different ways. You could either have demand fall as Japanese investors no longer want to bring their money to the US, or the supply will increase. As US investors take money to Japan to put into financial assets like bonds, or savings accounts, they're first going to have to buy in, and when they buy in, they're paying with dollars, so the supply of dollars in the loanable funds market will increase and shift to the right, and we'll end up with a depreciating currency. It'll now take fewer yen to buy a dollar, more dollars to buy a yen. That will make us import less goods from Japan because now it'll cost more just to get the yen before we start buying that stuff. And that'll make Japanese importers import more US goods to Japan because now it'll take fewer yen to buy a dollar. And if that occurs, if we have an increase in exports and a decrease in imports, aggregate demand is going to increase because net exports are rising and it'll shift to the right. That's a terrible A. And we'll end up in an inflationary gap with higher price level and an increasing GDP and an unemployment rate that's going down. So that was quick and easy. That's just how aggregate demand and net exports are going to be affected by changes in currency value, whether a currency is depreciating or appreciating. Next time, we'll start reviewing for the AP tests, I guess. I don't know. Goodbye.